Well, welcome back to the 65 series. In this video, we're going to cover replacing the cylinder head and the things that we're doing with it. Now, the old cylinder head that was on the tractor, look, probably nothing wrong with it, we're just not sure. As you know, my channel's sponsored by Sparex, and I was talking to the Sparex rep, and I said, what do you reckon we put a head on this, brand new Sparex head on this engine? We've never fitted one before, and we'll just check a few things out. And they said, yeah, look, no worries, sounds like a good idea. So we have a brand spanking new Sparex cylinder head, and I can't remember the part number offhand, but I'll put a little slide in here. They're not cheap, pardon me. They're not cheap, and I've had it out of the box for a little while, and the thing I noticed about it first up was it was packed very well. It was in a really good cardboard box. It had Coolite, or it had a plastic bag around this Coolite foam, and then the head had a plastic bag inside that. So it was packed very well. There was no chance it could get damaged. But one little thing that I did note was on a couple of the machine surfaces, and there's just a little mark there still that I haven't got off, there was a little bit of surface rust, and a little bit along the top where the tappet cover gasket goes here. On this side, on the inlet manifold side, there was a bit of surface rust, and where the head gasket went, just on one side there was a little bit of surface rust. There's no way it could have got like that. Like, it had this wax stuff all over it, and I had to give it a good clean off, but there's no way that surface rust would have got in there in the packaging. I think wherever they bought the head from, they're a bit slab-dazzy with that. So I had to look at it, and I thought, oh, which way do we go? And look, I just got a little Scotch-Brite pad on a rotary grinder, and I just run it across, and it could come off. It hasn't etched in, it just looked shitty. So I'm going to use the head. I'm happy as Larry to use the head. You may be able to see I've put all the head studs in. Now, quite a few videos back now, I showed 3 ways of getting the head studs out with with our 3 different tools and even double nutting. So I didn't cover putting the head studs back in this video. Each head stud had the threads cleaned on the stud. We cleaned the threads in the block when we were doing the cleanup, run a tap down it, and we buffed them all up, made sure they're clean. Then every head stud, when we put it in, we put a bit of Loctite around it. So 2 reasons. One is in case some of them do go through into the water jacket. And then look, I don't think, I can't remember, to tell you the truth, if any did or they didn't. And so they're Loctited in. Then if we have to pull the head off later or do something like that, all the studs will stay there. And you may remember when I undid the head studs on this, a couple of studs come out. So that won't happen now. So I grabbed the new head, sat it on, just to make sure everything fitted. Aftermarket parts, sometimes it just pays to check things. There's a couple of things I'm going to do. Now, the back plate on the head here, you can see this back plate there, that's coming off. The reason that's coming off is the one that was standard with the cylinder head has this lifting eye on it, and it has a block here, and when that's bolted up tight, that's a way of lifting the engine. That's not on this back plate that came with the head. So I'm taking that plate off, getting rid of it, and this plate will go back on. This plate here looks all grey. I've bead blasted that, neutralised any rust, and look, the grey is just a little bit of, it was leftover aerosol of a little bit of galvanised paint. And so I've just, like I say, bead blasted, neutralised everything. And it's got a little bit of gal paint on it now, and that'll act as an undercoat. So the other thing we've tidied up is this little bracket here. That's the other lifting bracket. I've tidied all that up, bead blasted it, taken any rusty shit off it. Now, round this, round the other end here, the open part here, this is my, I'll just take that bolt out, or else I'll drop the bloody thing for sure. And so the thermostat housing has been through the same treatment. So I bead blasted this yesterday and washed it and bead blasted. I got in with a little die grinder and all that. I haven't put any sealer over there. I shouldn't need to really, but the head has to come off, and this sits down there, and there's no way getting to the bolt. So so this gets bolted on before the cylinder head goes on. The cam followers. Now, the cam followers have to be put into the head before you put the head on, and my cam followers, quite a few of them have a little line going across, and I'll see if I can show you that. I think you can just see it there. And they're supposed to be slightly domed, and mine aren't. And with the years of wear, they've got that little line across. And how it works is the cam lobe comes up and it hits the side of that a little bit. And as it lifts the valve, it tries to turn them a little bit. And so you get even wear all around. Obviously, some of these that hasn't been working. You can see this has got a line one way and a line the other way. So we're ditching all of those, and we have some nice shiny new Sparex ones. So I'll put them in shortly. The Sparex number for that is S41345, and I've had a look at a couple. They look as good as anything. Like, there's nothing wrong there at all. Sometimes I feel with aftermarket parts I'm really apologising for them, but no need. This is a good thing. Now, the other trouble we have is when we put the cam followers in, there's a bolt with a lock nut, and that's a hardened bolt, and that does your tappet clearance, your rocker adjustment, and they wear on the rocker here. So the rocker arm comes and sits on here, and as this turns, as the whole thing turns as an assembly, that shouldn't have a wear mark in it really. This one's got one in the wrong place, but the other trouble with this is they're a hardened bolt, and you can see some big-fisted bastard has locked this lock nut up that tight, they've broken the threads out. Now, these bolts are hard, and they don't stretch or anything. The threads are actually brittle. So it's it's something I need to find. Sparex has the nut, but they don't have the new bolt. So I didn't realise I needed these until I pulled the old cam followers out yesterday and decided to clean everything up to get it ready. So what I'm going to do to get the cylinder head on, I'm going to pop it off here now, put it over on the bench. I don't know how much I'll film, but I'll put this thermostat housing on. I'll put this back plate on. I'll put all the cam followers in, and we'll probably come back when I'm ready to slide the head on and tension it down. Well, we're ready to bang the head on. Now, if you can see a bit of blue on the head gasket. So what that is, that's Hylamar, and I use a spray-on Hylamar. I sprayed the underside of the gasket. Well, I sprayed both sides, let it get a bit tacky, then brought the gasket down. Got it all over my hands because my nozzle blocked up, so I had to go and pinch the nozzle off a brake cleaner. What a bloody show. But anyway, look, that's all good. Just give a little run down this side where the lifters are. They can leak down there a little bit. So once that's gone a bit tacky, make sure your cylinder head here is absolutely clean. And what I do with mine to make sure they're clean is, excuse me for a second, I just knocked my brake cleaner over before, is I run a bit of brake cleaner across it and I make sure it's very clean. Now, there is a bit of oil around sometimes from putting the cam followers in, so you want to make sure all that's not there. You know, you're drying it all away. And the idea is you want the Hylamar, the gasket stuff, to stick to the head. So I have another little bit of towel here, so we'll just there we go. So with the head gasket, you'll notice a little rolled edge on the gasket. I usually put that towards the head, so there's no little join where the liner meets the block. Just check though, but look, check every hole. Check every little hole in your block and make sure there's no holes where the gasket isn't. And yeah, look, just make sure it's okay. I might just do a little run down that water side. That's about the Hylamar buggered, so that's good. The bloody can, it was getting a bit of a mess anyway. So now you've seen I've assembled the head. I've put the thermostat housing and all that sort of thing on, so we should be able to pick him up and put him on. So we'll get it all facing the right way. I like to pull the cam followers up out of the way a little bit. Sometimes they don't stay there, but that's just how it is. And we'll just lift him on here. Look at that, straight in, no kissing. The now with the mine has head nuts on it, so we usually, I'll just grab my little oil can. Now I don't smother the head studs with oil, but I do put some on. Just a little bit to help. And these don't have washers under them, so mine never did, and I had a look in the book and they don't seem to have them there either, so we're presuming that's the way to go. It's been done correctly in the past. So a little bit of oil helps the thread, and it also helps not have the nut not gall on the cast iron. Now a lot of the little Fergies, they do have washers under them, but my head didn't have it and the book doesn't show it, so that's how I'm going. And another thing I try and do is put the head nuts with no paint. You go under the tappet cover, the ones with paint go outside. So I just try and, I don't know, just, you know, you could have a little flake of paint coming off. Now there's a smooth side of the nut. The smooth side goes to the head. And at this stage, it doesn't matter what way you put them on, or what order you put them on in. At this stage, it just doesn't matter. Now it matters when you tension it later on, but not just for doing this. Now I've cleaned all the threads and everything, so we know we should be right to go. Probably should have my glasses on, hey, being an old fart and all. There's a painted one. All right, I'll get all these on, save you watching me fiddle along, and I'll come back in a few moments. Okay, I've just put a socket on these and just brought them all down to just firm sort of thing, just by hand. So what we're going to do now, the idea with pulling a head down is you start in the middle and work your way out. Now, if you have a look at some books, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you do crossovers. Back when I was a young fella, they used to tell us just work your way round in a circle. So you'd start in the middle here, you'd probably go there, 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 and just work your way round. And the idea is that you're taking any warp out of a head, or if you do it up this end and this end, well, it might be a bit loose in the middle. So you're looking to flatten out anything. It shouldn't matter, but it does. Yeah. So look, what we're doing here is I've got the tension wrench sent to 30 foot-pounds. And so we're just going to start at 30, and we're going to work our way around. I'll see if I can put a picture in of the correct sequence. I'll do that one. So, yeah, you can see by going to 30, as you pull it down, this centre one becomes a bit looser. So, look, that's no worries. It's about trying to take it down nice and even. I'll put a link in the description to a cheap torque wrench. And look, you can have a $700 snap-on one. This one is a cheapie. I have another cheapie. And you can see these nuts are a little bit loose now from where I hand tightened them before. So I've done that one. We'll come to this one. That's the next one in line. There, so we'll be over here. I think I've done this one, yep. done. Okay, so that's gone right through at 30 foot-pounds. Now, I mean, whether it's 25, 30, 35, just doesn't bloody matter at this stage. But you'll see, perhaps this one. See where we pulled that down to 30 before, that's loose now. It's just how it goes. It sort of all works its way out. So next I'm going to 50 foot-pounds. Our final torque is 70 foot-pounds. So I'm just sneaking up on it. Where's 50? It should be about there. And it's just about going down in 2 or 3 sequences. So, and just to keep it all where it should be. Get the microphone cord up. I think I've done this one. Yep. That's the next one. So there we go, there's 50 foot-pounds. Now, we'll pop him up to 70. There's 66. There we go, just there. I've got my glasses. Oh, they're in my bloody pocket. Worst being an old fart. That should be it there. Pardon me. Now, I suppose I should mention the thing with the tension wrench is you don't heave it, you just pull it gently, pull or push gently. I'm trying not to hang on to the tension wrench down here. Do it on my microphone again. Check this one again. Yep, that's good. Well, there you go. That's a run through tensioning the head down. Then we have a proper Perkins manual we work from, and they say give it 10 minutes and do it again. So we'll bang the camera off, we'll wait 10 minutes, sit and look out the door or pat the dog or something, and you can whiz in, make a cuppa, have a leak if you like, and yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes. I probably should mention, seeing Sparex sponsor the channel, that the VRS set, valve regrind set, or head gasket set, is S40592. And yeah, look, it's been going well. The gaskets are fitting. It's a good thing. So we've been away, stoked the fire and looked on Facebook and done all that important stuff. So now, leave the tension wrench where it was at 70 foot-pound, and you'll notice the head will have settled, everything would have found a happy spot, and you'll notice that it'll probably come up a bit in the middle here. See that? So, and because we pull this down at 70, then we pull everything else down, there's always just a little bit of room for movement there. So all we need to do now is just run through the process again. Not hard to do. And what I like to do is, once I get the tractor running later on, get it up to operating temperature a couple of times, and I always like to run through, just check the head again. And some, you can notice some do come up a little bit. And as you get to outside further, they seem to want to go up less. So I'm not sure how all that works, but anyway. I think I've done this one. Okay, and that's that. Now, no need to do any more at the moment. We'll just leave that be. I do have to pull the studs out of the old head for the rocker assembly, but because these rocker adjusting screws are buggered, I'll have to find some newies. So we can't fit the rockers until that happens. Yeah, we'll just have to play it by ear. So there you go. There's putting the cylinder head on the AD4203, the Mark II 65 engine. Yeah, look, we'll move on to something else.